What's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with your one and done preview for the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. But before we get to that, let's look back at last week's British Open Championship, however you would like to refer to this, and see a little bit of devastation. What I'm showing you on the screen right now are the 5 most popular golfers from last week's Open Championship. No surprise that with it being the last major of the year, a lot of the big dogs, a lot of the studs were rolled out here at Royal Portrush. No golfer more popular than Rory McIlroy, obviously the hometown kid, one of the betting favorites coming in. 332 of you chose Rory for the Open Championship, followed by Big Game Brooks with 288, Justin Rose with 243, Henrik Stenson, who I had in my season-long lineup, 202, and Adam Scott with 164. 13 of you nailed Shane Lowry. Congratulations. Got the full, I think, $1.9 million for that win. So if you had one of the 5 most popular picks, how did you end up? Well, I don't need to tell you that if you had Rory or Adam Scott, you earned $0, both missing the cut. Rory's, go back and watch the DFS video. I talk a lot about this for this week. A lot more inspiring missed cut than someone like Adam Scott, but you do not get money and you do not get points for being inspiring. Outside of that, in the one and done pool that we are in, where there's so many other owners, the two T20s from Stenson and Rose feel like a waste. Excuse me, quite honestly. You're only getting I think $90,000 or something in that range from those guys, usually not going to cut it. Brooks did come in with a T4, although if you're a Brooks owner, you're almost a little disappointed in that as well, but he at least earned you a lot of money. So I think it was 13 people had Shane Lowry. I want to say it was like 129 had Tommy Fleetwood. And then in third place, Tony Finau. There was like five of you guys had Tony Finau. So there were some pretty low owned guys at the top of the leaderboard here. So where does that put us? Or I'm sorry, let's go. This is my lineup, or my teams from last week. So I did have, excuse me, Tommy Fleetwood at in my weekly pick. So remember, we went through and he was really the best guy that I had left. It felt like a lot of people had abandoned him from that Open Championship narrative that we've had on Tommy Fleetwood over the course of the last few years. I did roll him out in my weekly pick, so thrilled to get the 1.1 million there for the second place, the solo second place finish. And then Stenson in my season long lineup, where he earned us 91,000 for that T20. So this is, I believe, like the first time in a while that our weekly lineup has surpassed our season-long lineup in the standings here. So the weekly is now under 1,000. It's in the triple digits, so the top third of this contest. And then our season-long is in like 1,386th place, which is a little better than average, I'd say. So that's cool. Now, also, what else is going on here is that was the last major of the year. So if you want to take a quick peek at my major picks, not too great, right? So we had, excuse me, geez, I can't shake it this morning. Tiger at the wrong major. So we played Tiger at the Players Championship and got 77,000. Bubba at the Masters, he did earn us about $250,000. Henrik Stenson at the PGA Championship for 26,000. Adam Scott for 367 at the U.S. Open, and then we did get Tommy Fleetwood 1.1 million at the Open Championship. So we didn't nail a winner anywhere, but a couple of top 5 finishes in our weekly lineups was pretty decent. But the most interesting thing that we have going on is this right here. Remember, this Gups Corner contest is broken down into segments. So there's a lot of ways you can win this. You can win the season long. That's the big prize, obviously. You can win just the majors, or you can win any of these 4 segments. Well, we are in the thick of it for segment 4. So segment 4 is the John Deere Classic and actually, you know what? I might have to email these guys here. Well, hold on, because right here it says John Deere Classic to the Tour Championship is segment 4. But if you look at the actual standings, it shows you the 3M Open as well. Stand by. Let me see if I can pull the schedule up here really quickly. Okay, so it looks like okay, so the 3M Open is included in segment 4. Great. Okay, so this is accurate here. The dollar amounts are accurate. It looks like just the segment up top might be mislabeled a little bit. So we are in the thick of it for segment 4, 3 tournaments in. Especially in our original, our number 1 lineup. We're in 39th place out of 3,000. So we are in it. We had Victor Hovland at the 3M, Ryan Moore at the John Deere, and then that 1.1 million from Tommy Fleetwood at the Open Championship. So there are 5 tournaments left, and they're all big money events. So this is going to swing like crazy. We're right in the heart of it. So FedEx St. Jude this week, then the Wyndham, then you get into the playoff events, Northern Trust, BMW Championship, Tour Championship. So a lot of big money coming in. So where are we going to go for this week? I want to look at the total ownership because, you know, with the new schedule and with this WGC event being rebranded and things, like, we go from a major where we used a lot of the big people that we had left and had saved, and now we go to a WGC and it's another jam-packed field of studs, right? So it's the same guys we would want to roll out. Very interesting that Dustin and Rory have both been used exactly the same amount, 2602. And I suppose that if you have not used either of those guys yet, you're either waiting for the Tour Championship or something like that. I'd probably love to burn them this week. I like both of these guys for different reasons. Again, I won't go through the same things that I went through in the DFS video, but Rory's miscut last week, I think, is a little bit of an anomaly, and then DJ also gets the benefit of the just absolute spectacular course history here at TPC Southwind. So very interesting to see those guys. If you've got them left, I assume that you are rolling them out. Now, for myself personally, I don't have the luxury of being able to use one of these really top studs in my weekly lineup. I'm showing you the one and done tool right now, and all of the top guys here, Rory and DJ, of course, they're 1 and 2 in terms of expected value for this week. Justin Thomas is up there. John Rahm is up there. The problem being, I have used all of these guys. I mean, I'm literally out of guys. I was scrolling through my list, and it was like, you know, I'm making decisions between Rafa Cabrera-Bello, Ches Reavie, and, you know, Andrew Putnam, right? Like, that's where I'm at in my weekly pick right now. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how I manage that down the stretch, and especially because the fields are going to get much smaller, right? Like, when we get down to the Tour Championship and there's 30 guys, like, I'm going to have to pick the one guy that I haven't used yet. It's going to be like Keegan or somebody. But anyway, so it really is a lot of who you have left at this point and what your goals are. Are you playing for the season-long prize? Are you trying to load up and win a segment? Like, what are your goals at this point is really dictating what your strategy should be. So where I'm headed, I had to settle, and I'm not super against it. I mean, I understand I'm running out of guys, but I had to settle for my weekly pick on Rafa Cabrera-Bello. And it really was between him and Ches Reavie. Those were the two guys I narrowed it down to. I like both of them. Both of them, luckily, have played at TPC Southwind. Cabrera-Bello only once, but he has a 4th place finish. Reavie kind of destroys TPC Southwind, but I opted for Cabrera-Bello because Reeves missed 2 cuts in a row now. Hasn't played well since his win back at the Travelers. And Cabrera Bello, to me, in a no-cut event, I think he's just more live. 3 straight top 10s worldwide coming into the Open Championship last week, in which he missed the cut. So I just decided to go with someone who I thought was playing better worldwide. I think his range of outcomes is a little bit bigger. I think Cabrera Bello can kind of be dead last and also be top 5. So I went with Cabrera Bello there. And then my season-long pick, the one that I chose before the year, is Rory McIlroy is who we plugged in here. So this was, I'm trying to remember back. We set this lineup in January. And I want to say, I know that we made a conscious effort to, we obviously played really good guys at majors, but we also made a conscious effort to take studs in 2 things: in smaller fields. So this field has now 63 players after this morning. I think Shane Lowry, I know that Shane Lowry withdrew, so I think we're down to 63 now. In smaller fields, and then also ones with big prize pools. So that is the perfect combination of a WGC event. So we plugged Rory in there, and I'm actually kind of thrilled about that because, as I kind of mentioned, there's only 400 of us that even have the option to play Rory. I think a lot of people will opt to avoid him after the missed cut last week. So I'm thrilled to have Rory here. I think he can absolutely go out and win this thing. So that's who I'm going with. Cabrera Bello, Rory. Let me know who you're playing, but also let me know where you stand. What are your goals? Like right now, I am laser focused on segment 4. That's the way for me to get my money back, or me to try to win something. So let me know where you guys are at as we sprint to the finish line over the next 5 weeks or so. Tweet me. It's at DFS On Demand, or leave a comment below. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.